At the 2025 Toy Fair in New York, top U.S. toy companies, including Hasbro and Mattel, voiced concerns over the Biden administration's new tariffs on imports from China, Mexico, and Canada. Industry leaders warn that these tariffs will increase toy prices, affecting both businesses and consumers. The Toy Association is urging policymakers to exclude toys from tariff policies, emphasizing their critical role in children's development.
We're at Toy Fair today, and we're showing all of our wonderful new products for 2025. Lots of great new innovation, lots of great excitement in our brands like Monopoly 90th anniversary. We've got some great news in Peppa Pig, great news in Transformers, and Play-Doh too. Well, one of the things we're most excited about is our partnership with Mattel and Barbie on Play-Doh. So a whole new way to play with Play-Doh. So we're allowing kids now to create their own fashions for Barbie dolls out of Play-Doh.
Like that. And we just simply take that excess off. Don't you wish it was that easy to do in the mornings, huh? Right, like that. And there we go.
We work very hard at Hasbro to make sure that the toys that we make are affordable. Over 60% of the toys that are sold in the United States are under $20 retail. And so one of the things we're really trying to do in the situation with tariffs is make sure that our toys stay affordable, but at a certain level the tariffs are going to drive consumer prices up. There's really no way around that. We're working hard to mitigate the impact of that. We're working with our vendors, we're working with our supply chain, but we really don't see any way that consumers aren't going to be affected by these tariffs.
You know, over the last 5 or 6 years, Mattel has made an effort to really diversify our global supply chain and our manufacturing footprint. Right now, we have about 40% of our toys that are manufactured in China. And if you think about the dynamics of the US, that's about 20% of the products in the US that are influenced by tariffs. Looking forward to 2027, we expect not more than 25% to be manufactured in one country. So that's really what a diversified manufacturing footprint means. You know, we're working with our retail partners to determine the best way to how to price our lines for the fall. As you know, this is a fluid and dynamic situation. I'm confident that we're going to get to the right result that will allow our products to continue to be enjoyed throughout the balance of the year and the holiday season. What I can tell you about the consumer is resilient. In good times and bad, the toy consumer shows up. So I'm confident that we will have a fantastic holiday season.
The latest increase in tariffs, 20% for China, and the existing that might go into effect at 25% on Mexico and Canada, are really, really difficult for the folks here that are at New York Toy Fair. When you think about it, 96% of the people that are here are small businesses. So low price point, very tight margin industry with a 20% tariff is very, very problematic for everybody that's here at the Toy Fair in New York. We're not trade experts by any stretch of the imagination, but what we would like is that we have a hard look at the categories overall, and that the toy industry, because of what we do for kids, particularly helping kids emotionally, mentally, physically, and so important to their childhood, that there would be a way to look at our industry, particularly the toy industry, and keep us out as an exclusion of any tariff policy.
Rumble, trigger on the tail, activates the chomping action.
We think toys are a critically important part of every kid's childhood, and putting toys on tariffs might not allow a toy to be put in every child's hand this holiday season, and we want to make sure that happens.
Well, we are at the 121st New York Toy Fair. It's a really exciting time. This is a pivotal time for the toy industry as people are making final decisions about what to stock in their stores. So high risk, high stakes, but also a lot of fun. A lot of people are talking about AI, but I think we're still a couple of years away from effective AI in toys, other than working through an app, which has been successful. But what really pleases me is we're seeing a lot of really good, wholesome, hands-on play. So one of the things I've loved has been this mashup of Barbie and Play-Doh, which Hasbro and Mattel have done together. And it's just a really creative, immersive way for kids to play and express themselves. And one of the other things we see is like Gen Alpha kids, we're calling them, the screeners, because they've grown up with screens in their hands. Now you give them a dimensional toy and they go, wow, it's a dimensional toy, I can play with that. So it's actually new to them to play that way. Tariffs are going to be a real challenge for the industry. We came into Toy Fair thinking that there was going to be a 10% tariff, and everybody was thinking, okay, that's not great, but we can probably manage that. And then as Toy Fair opened, there was an announcement that was going to be another 10%, so 20% tariff on top of pressed margins and challenges with pricing really makes a very difficult situation. How do I price it? How do I sell it? How do I make a profit? And really that's at the end of the day what people are looking at right now. But I will say that you look back over the history of the toy industry for the past 100 years, it's always weathered the economic challenges. We just don't know how as we're sitting here today. Tariffs are inevitably going to have to be passed on to consumers. So they're going to pay it in increased prices. There's no way that a toy company can absorb it, no way that a retailer can absorb it. If you want to be able to do business, you're going to have to accept increased prices.